What's up, guys? Welcome to Nick's All-American TV. I'm Nick. Today we're breaking down engine performance parameters for beginners. If you've ever opened up your tuning platform and been overwhelmed by your VE tables, your MAF tables, your power enrichment tables, your shift points, if you've ever been overwhelmed by any of that, this is the video for you. Stay tuned, buckle up, and get ready because it's going to be a ride. Alright guys, this is a MAF sensor. Your MAF sensor dictates how much it reads, how much airflow is coming into the motor so that it can calculate fuel. If your MAF curve is wrong in your tune, then your tune is wrong. Alright guys, so let's talk about MAF for a second. Now where can we find MAF? We can find MAF inside of our VCM editor. Okay, go into VCM editor. You go to engine, go to airflow, go to general, airflow versus frequency. Here we see a general MAF curve. This is what a MAF curve looks like on your chart. Okay, when we're looking at it and we're going to make our edits. Okay, this is a short-term fuel trim of when our MAF is not in sync and is searching. Okay guys, speed density in older systems used your VE or volumetric efficiency instead of MAF. Okay, nowadays we use primarily VE with our MAF, mass airflow frequency, running our wide open throttle and blends in our cruising area. Your VE table is nothing more than the efficiency of air inside of the cylinder. So if your VE is 100%, then the cylinder is 100% full of air. If your VE is 80%, it's 80% full of air. Our VE table, if we go back, our VE table is found again, VCM editor, airflow, general, primary VE. This is our primary VE. Again, this is how the engine breathes. Okay, our MAF sensor and our MAF curve tells our engine how much air is coming into the motor to calculate fuel. Our VE, our volumetric efficiency, is telling our engine how full of air it is. So at 100%, it's 100% full of air. Yes, fuel's figured into that. And if it's at 80%, it's 80% fuel, full of air. Okay guys, idle control, right? This is another performance parameter. Idle is where beginners make most of their mistakes. Idle airflow, idle spark, throttle follower, they all work together in order to make your idle right. If your idle is hunting, it's usually an airflow issue, not a timing issue. Idle is controlled airflow through your IAC or IAC, as you can see. Okay, this is controlled airflow. Idle is controlled airflow. If you get that airflow right, you get your idling right. Now, when we start talking about idle control and the issues that we have in idle, okay, when we are looking at idle control, if we go to our VCM editor, we go to idle, we look at RPM. Okay, we have a base idle RPM set point, okay, and if we go over here to airflow, okay, we can look right here, base running idle airflow. Excuse me, coolant temp, my apologies. We can see this is where we see throttle follower. We also have throttle cracker, adaptive idle airflow, this. Alright guys, next up we got power enrichment. Now power enrichment mode is when the ECU says, hey, we're making more power and we need more fuel. This is your wide open throttle fueling. Okay, too lean and it's dangerous. Too rich and you lose power. The key takeaway here is power enrichment is your wide open throttle safety and power table, both in one. Now, power enrichment, okay, power enrichment is derived off of, if we go to our fueling, where we would see our fueling at, and we look right here, we see power enrichment. We pull up power enrichment, we look at our EQ ratio. Again, power enrichment, okay, power enrichment is our wide open throttle fueling. Okay, too lean and it's real dangerous, too rich and we're going to lose power. We can go here to EQ ratio to change our power enrichment. We can also change when our power enrichment comes in and how long it delays before it actually sets into place. So now let's talk about fuel trims. Fuel trims are the ECU's correction system. Short-term fuel trim is short-term correction, where long-term fuel trims are learned over time. If trims are within plus or minus 5%, you're in great shape. If they're plus or minus 10, we need to refine it a little bit. Anything over than that, there's something wrong. If they're way off, you've got an airflow problem. The key takeaway to this is fuel trims tell you if your tune is healthy or not. This is how we regulate our tune. Our fuel trims. Okay guys, we are getting into our fuel trims. We look at long-term fuel trim and short-term fuel trim. Our fuel trims tell us the correction factor in what the engine is doing, as opposed to what our O2 sensors are reading versus what our MAP sensor is reading. Absolute manifold pressure right here. We can see up here in our idling areas, okay, this is going to be controlled by our VE, okay, and this is going to be controlled out here in our 2800 and up range is going to be our MAP section, okay. And our long-term fuel trims plus our short-term fuel trims divided by 100 plus 1 times the old value of whatever cell block you're working on and whatever chart you're doing is going to be your math formula for how to correct your fuel trims. Fuel trims are also our safety checkpoint. They're our health checkup. They're telling us if our tune is accurate or not accurate. Alright guys, underneath the truck here looking at the transmission, your shift points and torque management. For automatic shift points and torque management control how the truck feels. Shift points decide when the transmission changes gears. Torque management decides how much power the ECU pulls during the shift for the torque management. Okay, this is what saves your transmission. Shift points, okay, the key takeaway from here is shift points control your feel. Torque management controls how much power you put down. Also, if we look inside of our VCM editor, we can actually go in and we can set our shift points, okay? Our upshift points, our general shift points. We can also influence our scheduling on on when we do this. So we have part throttle shifting and full throttle shifting. Now full throttle shifting is broken up into speed and RPM, okay, as well as part throttle shift. Just keep that in mind. So your spark table is, your spark timing table is the timing of when the spark plug is firing in correlation of when the piston is coming up or down in the cylinder. Too early, you get spark knock. Too late, you lose power. The ECU uses load and RPM to determine how much timing to give. High load needs less timing and a light load needs more timing. Timing is the engine's power curve, but only if your tune is safe and everything else is good to go. Our spark timing table can be found under Engine, under Spark, and Base Corrections. And this is where we can go in and change our spark table. Also, we can change our idle spark when it's in drive and in park. We can change our overspeed and underspeed for our idle adaptive spark. This is going to be kind of your cruising around your parking lot area right here. And this is going to play into it as well. Alright guys, that's going to do it here for this episode of Nick's All-American TV. If you found this video guide to engine performance parameters for beginners helpful, be sure to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and the like button, and follow our Tuning 101 series made for beginners. Until next time guys, y'all make sure to stay safe, keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down. You got the one airborne. We'll catch you on that turnaround. We gone.